The woke brigade is at it again, folks. This time they're trying to silence anyone who dares criticize their precious Acolyte. Imagine being so fragile that you can't handle someone saying your favorite Star Wars show sucks. But that's exactly what's happening. We've got the star of the show, Amanda Stenberg, crying bigotry because people don't like her wooden acting and the show's garbage writing. And now we've got an army of Twitter warriors demanding YouTube shut down channels for having the audacity to point out that the Acolyte is a dumpster fire wrapped in a pride flag. They literally have shills crafting Bible-like letters and mentioning YouTube in their Twitter mentions just to get these people's channels taken down. And the crazy part is, YouTube actually responded. More on that later. It's not enough that they've butchered Star Wars, now they want to make sure no one can even talk about how bad it is. Welcome to the new frontier of fandom, where having an opinion makes you a bigot and actually enjoying good storytelling makes you the enemy. First off, this isn't Star Wars. It's a woke checklist masquerading as a galaxy far, far away. The writers were so busy trying to cram in every modern social issue they could think of, they forgot to actually tell a compelling story. You know, that thing Star Wars used to be known for. They've completely butchered the lore. The Force is now just a convenient plot device to push their agenda. And if you dare try to say something about this, be prepared to be dominated and advocate for your livelihood to be taken away. Here is the document they crafted up towards YouTube to get people's channels taken down. The document claims that certain YouTube channels are engaging in prolonged insults and harassment against actors and creators involved with Star Wars projects. It specifically mentions channels like Geeks Plus Gamers and Ryan Cannell, RK Outpost, as targets for potential action. One key quote states that the Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color. This frames the issue as one of protecting individuals from harassment rather than a debate about the show's quality. The document also alleges specific incidents, such as claiming these channels called Amanda Stenberg, vapid and narcissistic, and a half-black bitch. These are serious allegations that, if true, would indeed cross the line from criticism to personal attacks. Now, I'm be real, I haven't seen no channel call her a half-black bitch. But get real. Some of these actors Disney has been hiring do have traces of narcissistic tendencies. Brie Larson, for example, Rachel Zegler, for example, and the way the Acolyte actor has been responding to criticism, she ain't doing a good job either.
What happened here is that Amanda Stenberg, she got so sick and tired of it, she said, all right, yeah, she made a diss track for all you haters out there. Yeah, she said, oh, y'all don't know who y'all fucking with right here.
I would say hyper-conservative, bigotry, and vitriol, prejudiced, hatred, and hateful language towards us.
However, the document doesn't address any of the substantive criticisms these channels may have made about the show itself. This omission could be seen as an attempt to reframe all criticism as harassment, potentially stifling legitimate debate. The call to action at the end urges YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. This is a significant escalation that could have far-reaching implications for discourse around popular media. It's like the moment anyone dared to point out that the Acolyte is about as enjoyable as a Sarlacc pit massage, the woke mob lost their minds. Suddenly, if you don't worship at the altar of this steaming pile of bantha voodoo, you're a bigot. Yeah, that's right. Not liking a badly written TV show now makes you the Star Wars equivalent of Darth Vader. We've got clowns like Kyle Katarn, and no, not the cool one from the games, tweeting out manifestos calling for YouTube to be part of the solution. What solution, Kyle? The final solution for channels that don't kiss Disney's ass. He's out there claiming that criticizing the Acolyte is incentivizing hatred and racism. Hey genius, the only thing being incentivized here is making more garbage content. Whole squad of these losers, like Molly Damon and some rando called Rewriting Ripley, demanding that YouTube demonetize channels like NERDROTIC, RK Outpost, and Geeks Plus Gamers, sending their Bible pages to YouTube. Why? Because these channels had the audacity to say what we're all thinking, that the Acolyte sucks harder than a Sarlacc with a drinking problem. These wannabe Sith Lords are so desperate to silence dissent, they're accusing critics of jeopardizing the safety of our community. What community? The community of shills who get flown out to Lucasfilm, put up in fancy hotels, and given gift bags in exchange for gushing reviews. Yeah, I'm sure they feel real threatened by YouTube videos. The hypocrisy is strong with this one. These are the same people who probably preach about inclusivity and diversity, but the moment someone has a diverse opinion, they want them wiped off the platform faster than the Alderaan got wiped off the star map. And let's not forget the cherry on top of this shit sundae, they're trying to paint themselves as the victims. Apparently, pointing out that a show is badly written is now a hate campaign. Give me a break. The only campaign here is the one against honest criticism and free speech. Speaking of hypocrisy, let's talk about the real grifters in this galactic dumpster fire. While these Twitter warriors are busy trying to nuke honest YouTubers off the platform, they're conveniently ignoring the hut-sized elephant in the room, the so-called access media. These are the folks who get wined and dined by Lucasfilm, flown out to fancy premieres, and showered with more swag than a Jawa sandcrawler. And surprise, they're the ones singing the Acolyte's praises like it's the second coming of The Empire Strikes Back. But here's the kicker, when these shills pump out their glowing reviews, nobody bats an eye. No calls to demonetize their channels or check their privilege. Nope, they're stunning and brave for regurgitating whatever PR nonsense Disney feeds them. Meanwhile, independent creators who actually give a damn about Star Wars and aren't afraid to call a spade, they're treated worse than a rebel spy on the Death Star. Their crime? Having the audacity to think for themselves and not fall in line with the Disney-approved narrative. It's a double standard so blatant even a blind Wookiee could see it. But I guess integrity doesn't matter when you're too busy choking on Moe's flavored Kool-Aid. Free speech isn't just some lofty ideal, it's the lifeblood of any fandom worth a damn. When you start silencing critics, you're not protecting the franchise, you're killing it. Think about it. How does art evolve? Through honest feedback, debate, and yes, criticism. But these self-appointed guardians of correct fandom want to shut all that down. They're so afraid of different opinions, you'd think criticism was radioactive. Here's the cold, hard truth. Echo chambers produce garbage. When creators are surrounded by yes men and shills, too afraid to say, hey, maybe this isn't working, the quality nosedives. And who suffers? The fans. All of us. This isn't about protecting feelings, it's about protecting the integrity of storytelling. It's about holding creators accountable when they drop the ball. Because let's face it, if you can't handle criticism, you have no business being in the entertainment industry. Remember, even the greatest creators in history faced criticism. It's part of the process. But I guess that's too much to ask from the current regime and their army of online enforcers. They'd rather silence critics than admit maybe, just maybe, they messed up. This kind of censorship doesn't just hurt the critics, it hurts everyone who gives a damn about good storytelling. Pointing this out doesn't make us haters. It makes us fans who expect better. We've seen what Star Wars can be at its best, and this ain't it, Chief. The Acolyte isn't failing because of some imaginary bigot brigade. It's failing because it prioritizes checking boxes over telling a compelling story. It's failing because it treats the rich lore of Star Wars like a kid with a new coloring book, scribbling outside the lines with no regard for the original picture. We're not asking for the moon here. We just want good stories, interesting characters, and a respect for the universe we've loved for decades. Is that really too much to ask? So no, this isn't hate. This is tough love from fans who know Star Wars deserves better. And if the folks at Disney can't handle that, maybe they should find another franchise to butcher.